I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee for November 3rd, 2025. Would the clerk please take roll?
Trustee Sipes.
Here.
Trustee Bailey.
Here.
Trustee Road.
Here.
Mr. Trickey is absent. Mr. Yo.
Here.
And Ms. Miller. We have a
Here.
quorum.
Thank you. First on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the October 6th meeting. Could I have a motion and a second, please?
So made. Second.
I have a motion by trustee Bailey. And a second by Mrs. Miller. Any discussion or changes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes have been approved. Next on the meeting is the ordinance 39-25, a variance from the mobile home district requirements at 9305 North Second Street. I have a motion and a second.
So made. Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Miller and a second by trustee Rote. Can we have staff report, please, on 3925 and also 4025?
These two items pertain to the mobile home court on Rainbow Lane. This has been a pre-existing non-conforming mobile home court ever since it was annexed into the village in 1983. Records indicate that as far back as 1985, a previous owner was aware of the non-conforming status when they wanted to replace a mobile home that was removed, and the village would not allow it. Because the property is not zoned for mobile homes, the village continues to not permit any replacement mobile homes here or any improvements that would enlarge the use of the property. The current owner has applied for this variance from some of the requirements in the mobile home zoning district to be able to then change the zoning to the mobile home district so that she can place mobile homes on vacant sites. And so she can improve the private road back into the mobile home court. Staff is recommending approval of variances from 12 requirements listed as performance standards in the mobile home zoning district. These are standards that are either physically impossible to comply with or would be excessively burdensome to the property owner. But when it comes to how many mobile homes and storage sheds are here, how close they are together, how close they are to the property boundaries, these are requirements that we would like new mobile homes and permitted structures to comply with. Our code requires all mobile homes and other permitted structures like storage sheds to be at least 20 feet away from each other. Our code also requires all mobile homes and other permitted structures to be at least 25 feet from that outer property boundary. That standard in particular is impossible to comply with because of how narrow this property is. So staff is recommending a variance to require only a 5-foot distance rather than the 25-foot distance from the outer property boundary. Right now, there are mobile homes and other structures that do not comply with these distance or setback requirements, and staff recommends that they be allowed to stay in their current locations. Mobile homes or other structures will need to be removed if they're destroyed by fire or other disaster, or because they're found to be in a state of disrepair that deems them unsafe or uninhabitable. When a mobile home or other structure is brought to replace something that has been removed, that is when the village recommends that we require it to be at least 20 feet away from other structures and require it to comply with other setback regulations, including the minimum 5-foot setback from the property boundary. Staff is recommending that all mobile homes and other structures be inspected. As I mentioned, if they are up to code, they can stay where they are. If they need to be repaired to be brought up to code, the title holder of the mobile home will need to make the fixes that are required to make their home safe, and it can stay where it is. But as I mentioned, if we find that any structures are beyond repair, then that structure will need to be removed. Another requirement in the mobile home zoning district requires that there be at least 6,000 square feet of land area per mobile home. This density regulation limits there to being no more than 26 mobile homes on a lot of this size. If the mobile homes are removed or destroyed, our recommendation is that they cannot be replaced. If in doing so, that total number of mobile homes would exceed that density limit of 26. Per the applicant's submitted site plan, they hope to be allowed to have 42 mobile home sites here. Of course, this would require a variance from that density regulation, and this is a variance that staff does not support, except to allow what is there to remain. But as mobile homes are removed, we feel this density performance standard is one that could be brought closer into compliance, and there's no physical hardship, which is something we consider when we look at what kind of variances should be recommended for approval. There's no physical hardship that would necessitate a need to exceed the density limits prescribed in our code. There are a number of conditions staff recommends if these variances are approved, including installation of a new fence around the property, inspection of all the structures, testing of the private well, improvements to Rainbow Lane to be completed by February of 2027, and so forth. Those conditions are all listed in your staff reports in your packets. With the variances, the site would actually now qualify to be zoned properly in the mobile home zoning district rather than the single-family residential district, and staff recommends approval of that zoning change. We want this to be a conforming mobile home property. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval of the variances as staff recommends, and they voted to recommend approval of the zoning change to the mobile home district. Keep in mind, if this zoning change to the proper mobile home district is not approved, these 50-year-old mobile homes here would continue to fall into disrepair, and the private road will continue to be not in great condition, and the village will not be able to permit improvements or allow new mobile homes to be brought into the property. Our intention is not to eliminate this mobile home court. Our intention is just to make it conforming, safe, and comfortable for everybody who lives there. Thank you.
Thank you. I have talked to the owner, and she has asked, she's accepted that she will do the roads and she will do the fence, and she has put a large sum of money to the side to get all these, everything that we've asked done. One request was, and I'd like to see if we could change the condition number 2 and give her the 40 lots. And the reason she's asking that was because she would like to keep the rent down to help recover the money she spent. And she told me she has $85,000 put aside for the road, the parking area, and the fencing, and get everything up to codes. So I'm gonna ask that we change condition 2 to the 40.
It's 42, right?
Well, she just asked for 40.
She proposed 42 on the site plan.
But
You said 40 to you?
she would
Okay.
accept 40. So do I have to, do we just make that correction?
Probably you need to hear the rest of your colleagues, as well as I think the applicant probably would get a chance to
Okay.
speak as well
Ultimately,
before you
need
do
a
that.
motion to amend the condition.
Okay. First,
Can I ask a question first?
yes,
If we do that, are we overriding what the previous committee had done? Or do we have to send everything back and start over again?
You can keep going forward.
And you can amend it at this level, not at the board, but you don't.
And
have
then it
to
would go to the board with, as amended.
so we don't go back to the zoning.
Okay, that's all I
Right.
asked. Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Mr. Trustee
I've
Rowe.
got one that needs to be added. The maintenance and storage buildings need to be inspected and comply to the village codes as well.
And then we already have the condition in there that all structures need to be inspected.
Okay,
Well, so
any-
we're at a point where we need to have an amendment, a motion for an amendment.
yeah, we'll do, if anybody has anything to say first.
So we
Address the
need the
committee.
amendment before
Do
you
we-
have the discussion, correct?
I mean, you're the chairman, so, I mean, you could entertain the motion
Okay.
to amend the
Okay,
condition.
I'll entertain a motion to change the condition number 2 to 40 lots.
Okay,
Do I have
and
a
then
motion?
I'll work it. The variance would actually be a variance from that 6,000 square feet per mobile home to whatever it turns out to be to allow 40, rather than 6,000. You're decreasing that number is really what the variance would be for.
So am I asking this correct, that we're gonna change condition number 2?
Why, respect the suggestion of staff as to how to properly articulate what it is you want to do.
Yeah, I just don't know what that number would be. Rather than 6,000 square feet per mobile home, which our code says, it would be a reduced number.
But we can make that adjustment,
Yeah.
pardon my interruption.
If
We
you
could make that
trust us.
adjustment after you
So I
make your
just need a
motion.
motion to change it to 40. So I'd like to make a motion to change it to 40. Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Clerk, would you please take roll?
Trustee Sipes,
Aye.
trustee Bailey,
Aye.
trustee Rowe,
Aye.
Mr. Yo,
Nay.
and Ms. Miller.
Nay.
Total of 3 yeas and 2 nays.
So it does move on, correct?
Was that to
That was
vote
just
on
to
the
amend
To
amendment?
amend the condition.
The condition passed.
So
The amendment to the
condition
condition
passed.
passed. The applicant's attorney is.
Right.
Okay.
So is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the committee? Please state your name and address.
Good evening. Blake Stubbs of Noonan and Lieberman. Our address is 33 North LaSalle, number 1150 in Chicago.
Do you have any comments or any questions for him?
If I may be heard actually on the square footage point that was raised, my client estimates, I don't have an exact number for the committee, but my client estimates that the revised square footage per unit would be somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000. We are also asking to amend this, the density to be 15 feet in between units instead of 20. Other than that, I don't have anything to add to what you said earlier, Mr. Sipes. This is we appreciate the committee's consideration tonight of the 40 site proposal, which was prepared via a professional with whom the village has worked previously. And, you know, as mentioned previously, my client is invested in improving this property and making it a safe and cleaner and better place for people to live. There are currently, I believe, 29 families living in the park, and some of the people that live there are elderly and or disabled. And of course, you know, this presents a significant affordable housing issue, as well as manufactured homes are often the most affordable option available for people to live in. And so we appreciate the committee's consideration tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we ask some questions?
Yes.
Yes, I'll entertain any questions the committee may have.
Now, as I'm reading the proposals here, they are allowed to bring in new mobile homes, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, and in doing some research, the average new mobile home is, average is 15 wide and 66 to 80 long. Looking at 9 of these lots that are listed at 65 by 30, and looking at your 15-foot difference and your 5-foot plus, it would severely limit the type of trailer that you could bring in there, a mobile home that you could bring in there, if I'm correct, if we're following our ordinances as presented. Is that a fair statement?
I don't have the deepest knowledge of the manufactured home industry, so I can't speak to the average dimension of a manufactured home unit, but I can tell you that they do vary in size.
And a small one
and
is listed as
dimensions.
16 by 56. That's considered a small mobile home. Again, looking at 9 of those lots that are 65 by 30, that creates an issue in terms of the way things are laid out. It appears to me anyway.
I understand your concern, and you know, I would just reiterate that we did work with a professional architect to put together this site plan, and you know, we think that we can fit a reasonable number of units in here, such that those concerns are not going to be a major issue.
And I strongly believe in affordable housing. Okay, I truly believe in that. However, I have some real concerns about putting 40 on that lot. That's an awfully small area to have 40 mobile homes in my mind. We appear to be compromising a great deal from the 26 recommended to 40. That bothers me. If I'm a neighbor to that property, I'm going to be very concerned that it's going to be overwhelmed with 40 mobile homes there. I wouldn't be happy with that. Those are my comments. I have, like I said, doing some research on those lots that you're proposing. They're very, very close, very tight in compliance with what we're asking.
Sure, I understand where you're coming from with that. I do want to say that my client has conferred with Deputy Fire Chief Kevin Briggs, as well as officials at the Illinois Department of Public Health, which, for those of you who don't know, controls licensure of all mobile home parks in Illinois. And none of those people raised any of those concerns.
Looking at the same map we have in front of us.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to address the committee? Please state your name and address.
Scott Cordell. I live at 1122 Crystal Drive, and this is going to be in my backyard. First of all, I'm not a slick willy lawyer from Chicago or an architect from Chicago. I live here. Instead of debating large signs on I-90 that say, "Welcome to Machesney Park, bring your money in tax revenue," instead I see expanding a trailer park will probably house former Cabrini Green inmates from Chicago that used to shoot at police vehicles on
You're
West
out of
State
order,
Street.
though. We can't say that they're bringing anybody here.
They've already moved into Min's Drive. We know where they're at.
Well, they're not in the trailer park. You're out of order.
Finish your comments.
Let me finish my comments. All right. I question what kind of people they'll bring here. All right. Until they were evicted and moved to Min's Drive. The trailer park has never been in code. It will probably never be in code. They have never made any real attempt to attain code. I would recommend getting rid of the trailer park completely. I would grandfather in those who own and live there. And if you must put in this garbage, put in a 9-foot screen wall so that we don't have to look at this in our backyards and try to sell our homes. I would grandfather in those who live there, but only those that own their trailers. But not if you are a slumlord who owns 8 trailers and brags about it. We are spending a fortune to modernize North 2nd Street. Shouldn't we have signs on I-90, 173, and 251 that say, "Welcome to Machesney Park"? Bring your tax revenue, rather than a trailer park that clearly says, "Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Machesney Park in South."
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments, questions? Anyone else in the audience like to address the committee? Seeing none, I will call for a vote on ordinance 39-25, the variance from the mobile home district requirements. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Clerk, would you please take roll?
Trustee Sipes.
Aye.
Trustee Bailey.
Aye.
Trustee Road.
Aye.
Mr. Yo.
Nay.
Ms. Miller.
Nay.
So ordinance 39-25 will go to the, what's the date? Next board meeting with a positive recommendation
As amended.
as amended. So, okay, next is ordinance 40-25, a zoning map amendment for a single-family residence district to the mobile home district 9305 North 2nd Street. Can I have a motion in a second?
So made.
I have a
Second.
motion by trustee Bailey and a second by trustee Roll. We've had staff report. Is there any other questions or concerns we need to discuss? Seeing none, clerk, would you please take roll?
Trustee Sipes.
Aye.
Trustee Bailey.
Aye.
Trustee Road.
Aye.
Mr. Yo.
No.
Ms. Miller.
Ordinance 40-25 will also go to the next board meeting with a positive recommendation. Next is ordinance 43-25, a variance from commercial sign regulations to allow a billboard sign at 7600 West Lane Road. Can I have a motion in a second?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion by Mrs. Miller and a second by trustee Roll. Can we have staff report, please?
Yes, thank you. This is the site of the Life Dispensary and Event Center, right northeast of the interstate interchange at Route 173. The business is now asking for a large sign visible to motorists on the interstate. The sign would be larger and taller than what our code allows for commercial freestanding signs. It would not have the required masonry base. It would also have more electronic message board area than our code allows. It would basically be an electronic billboard, 42 feet tall, 1,472 square feet in area. So they are seeking this variance from our commercial freestanding sign regulations for the sign that they desire. Also, with this proposed sign, the total area of all signage on the property would exceed what our code allows. So this also includes a variance from that total sign area regulation as well. Staff recommends approval of the variance as long as all signage is consistent with what is proposed. It is not unusual to see signs like this up and down the interstate, but this is an unusual circumstance here to have a destination like this on a lot immediately adjacent to the interstate. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the applicant here or representative like to speak to the committee? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Joe, I'm
Sorry, he did raise his hand.
Oh, I'm sorry, who did?
raise his hand.
I didn't see him.
If there's any
You
questions,
don't need to
Oh.
sign
He got
in.
a positive vote, didn't he?
I didn't see his hand.
Okay.
Okay. The vote was yes.
You win.
So,
It seems to me, it didn't quite go,
I didn't see his hand.
but the vote was positive. I'm guessing that's what they want.
Okay, so ordinance 43-25 will go to the November 17th board meeting with a positive recommendation. Next is ordinance 44-25, a special use permit for warehousing in the commercial general district, 8720 through 8764 North Second Street. Could I have a motion and a second?
So made.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Bailey and a second by trustee Roll. Can we have staff report,
Yes,
please?
thank you. This is an application to add more warehouse space to the Machesney Town Center, which is a former Machesney Park Mall. We do not anticipate retail future for this space, and warehousing is an ideal reuse for the space. We already have other portions of the town center used as warehousing, and there are already a couple of tenants lined up for this new warehouse space. Staff does not expect this use to negatively impact the area. We recommend approval of the special use permit with some standard conditions. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend approval as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant or anybody representing him here this evening would like to address the committee? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Ordinance 44-25 will go to the October 17th board meeting with a positive recommendation. Next are reports. Are there any reports? Seeing none, public comment. Anyone in the audience like to address the committee for the good of the village? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So made.
I have a motion by trustee Bailey and a second by Mrs. Miller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.